Kia ora everybody, Chris Farhi here from the Bayleys Insights Data team. We've got Ankur Dakwale talking about the biggest news in New Zealand real estate. So we're a little bit different. Whereabouts are we?
Yeah, so we are at 245 Matakana Road in Warkworth. This is a 14.75 hectare piece of dirt. It is residential mixed housing urban zone, so the whole thing is that zone. It is convenient to the Warkworth town centre, direct access to the new Puhoi to Warkworth motorway. So if you want to learn more about this property, please get in touch with Chris Blair, Henry Napier or Marty van Barneveld from the Bayleys Warkworth office.
If you remember last year we filmed at Patterson Farm, literally across the road, and that property sold just towards the end of last year. So getting into the stats, the REINZ released their latest housing market statistics for February 2023. So these stats are pretty interesting. The sales volumes were quite low. A lot of that's been attributed to the disruption from the cyclone, which was going down around that time. New Zealand median house price 762,000, which was basically flat on last month. The Auckland median house price has popped up to just over 1 mil, and that was quite a big jump, although we noticed last month that the stats had been biased down by a whole bunch of 2-bedroom homes that had sold, which had pulled the median down. But if you look at the house price indices, basically flat on last month. Small glimmer of hope though was that the Wellington region, their house price index ticked up about 2% last month. So that's a nice sign for them because they have been having quite a big drop down there over the past year. One of the interesting things is if you look at the media coverage, a lot of them are focusing on the year-on-year change. But what that will conceal is the change in trend in terms of going from downward to either flattening or upwards. Stat that we're looking at closely is the month-to-month trend. At the moment, stable for this past month, and hopefully we see a bit of resurgence, but hard to tell right now.
Stats New Zealand has also released their migration statistics for January 2023. Now, in the 12 months of Jan, we've had about 130,000 migrants coming into the country with about 97,000 leaving the country. So it's got a net gain of about 33,000 for New Zealand. Now, this compares with a net loss of 17,500 12 months prior to this. Now this is interesting to see with net migration coming back into play. It will fuel the rental market is what we're expecting. So it'll be interesting to see over the next couple of months what happens in the space.
Next up, the Bayleys commercial team has launched Total Property 2 for this year. And so this features a portfolio of 70 commercial properties for sale around New Zealand. Some real nice properties in there. A couple of articles in there as well. We've got Fighting Obsolescence. So this is about the growing importance of sustainability for commercial and industrial properties. We've got First Ports of Call. So this looks at the property markets around the seaports and inland ports around New Zealand. And we've got Reimagining Workplaces, which is looking at post-pandemic ways of working and their influence on office designs. And so if you want to check that out, we'll leave a link in the description.
Next up, we got Bayleys Insights. So we've launched our Auckland CBD office update and also our Auckland industrial market update. A couple of themes in the office market that we're noticing flight to quality, which still continues. And we've also had yields stabilizing at a higher level in face of higher interest rates. That we're also seeing that higher rents are now required to stack up new builds. Now, in the Auckland industrial market, a couple of themes we notice are this competition for space. So with vacancy hovering at that 1% mark, tenants are wanting to become owner-occupiers now. So the higher yields that are impacting due to the interest rates, and we're noticing that the land is in short supply at the moment, but the outlook is that this will stabilize land prices in the future.
Next up, going offshore, our global partner Knight Frank has released their latest residential property market update for France. A little bit different, a little bit interesting. Big theme over there is that rises in interest rates are starting to impact their market, although not to the same extent that we've seen in New Zealand. So what they're seeing at the moment is lower sales volumes, but right now prices have been reasonably stable. The other thing that they dig into in this study is the movements of people around France. Two big things sticking out. The first is that the greater Paris region remains the key sort of location for people coming into the country. And then the second is that they're seeing more people moving into the smaller cities. But yeah, overall pretty mild conditions so far compared to what we've seen in New Zealand, given that their prices are still pretty stable.
Knight Frank has also launched their flexible workspace outlook for Hong Kong. A couple of things that we noticed in the study is more occupier taking up flex space. You got increasing number of non-traditional leases happening between flex space operators and landlords. Similar themes in New Zealand, where we're also seeing turnkey office suites coming into the foray alongside traditional co-working.
And then finally, to wrap up, we've got our property of the week. So I'll kick off this week. I've got 43 Hallenstein Street in Queenstown. So this is the Carlin, Queenstown's finest boutique hotel. It was the 2022 winner of the world's best new hotel at the Boutique Hotel Awards. It's nestled amongst one of New Zealand's most beautiful landscapes. Opened in May 2022 and is performing well above expectations. And if you want to learn more, you can contact Wayne Keane from the Bayleys commercial team.
And my property of the week this week is, of course, the land that we're standing on right now. So it's 245 Matakana Road in Warkworth. Now this is a 14.75 hectare residential mixed housing urban land, convenient to the Warkworth town centre. You've got direct access to the new Puhoi to Warkworth motorway. It's got gentle contour, as you can see behind us, with mature native bush. First time on the market for 80 years. So if you want to learn more about this property, please get in touch with Chris Blair, Henry Napier, or Marty Van Barneveld from the Bayleys Warkworth office.
Well, that's it. We'll wrap it up here. So massive thanks to the vendor for this property and the team at Bayleys Warkworth for hosting us today. It's been nice to get out of the office and get a bit of fresh air. Thanks very much, Ankur.
Thanks, Chris.
And we'll see you next time. See ya.
Yeah.